Take a look at these two characters. Would you say that they are vastly different from one another or relatively the same? If you say that they are different, then you would absolutely be correct. One's clearly a battle-hardened warrior looking for his next victim.
Nah, nigga, that's bait. Oh yeah, we got you locked. Oh my god!
While the other is, well, he's just happy to be here, to be honest. Now, for those who answer that they are relatively the same, then you would also be just as, if not more, correct. But how is that even the case? Despite how simple and perhaps arbitrary it sounds, this is one of the most expensive and dangerous financial questions that modern game companies must answer. The AAA gaming industry is in a state of crisis. It's defined by exponentially growing development costs, near unsustainable multi-year development cycles, and a wave of mass layoffs that have been gutting its most passionate workforce. This desperate need to have a lucrative return on investment has turned every new IP into a studio-killing gamble. The faces of this failure are games like Sony's Concord, an 8-year project that was shut down after a mere 2 months on the market, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, a 9-year endeavor that left a $200 million hole in Warner Bros. Finances. These weren't just bad games, they were failed attempts to follow a trend. Concord was a blatant live service trend chaser, clearly trying to emulate the success of Overwatch, but it lacked an on-release fanbase and creative hook to set itself apart. Suicide Squad arrived chasing trends that are nearly half a decade old, a looter-shooter design transparently modeled on the Destiny formula that was a poor psychological fit for its established characters. These are fundamental psychological miscalculations. They are the result of a conflict at the very heart of game design, the battle between knowing a hero and being a hero. This is what I like to call the Avatar paradox. Why has this simple creative choice seemingly become the most dangerous financial and psychological fault in the entire industry? As you'll see later in this video, many games we have become accustomed with in this new modern era have all had a certain key strategy expertly put to use. To answer what that strategy actually is, we first have to define the two sides of this Avatar paradox. To start, let's investigate one side of the coin. What is the psychological engine that makes a gaming mascot even work? And why is it seemingly so financially inflexible? The gaming mascot is a classic foundational model of the industry that we've all come to know. Mario, Pac-Man, Sonic, or any other character you can think of from your favorite games. The character is a distinct entity, a media character designed to be a brand ambassador of sorts. The financial goal is to build an intellectual property, or IP, so potent it transcends the game itself. The psychological engine for this model is fueled by the idea of a parasocial relationship. This is a one-way, non-reciprocal bond where the player develops an emotionally attached connection, treating the character as a lifelike and trusted friend. This relationship is dyadic. It's a bond between two separate beings, us the players, and the character on screen. This bond provides a safe and controllable situation for players to satisfy a fundamental need for belonging. In the late 90s and into the early 2000s, this was the dominant strategy. The market was a vast ocean, an unsaturated Wild West. In that climate, creating a mascot was an easy and effective way to lay the foundation for the financial empires companies were trying to build. In the modern, hyper-saturated 2025 market, this model has become somewhat of a double-edged sword. The parasocial bond is quite brittle. It relies on consistency, which forces studios into a risk aversion and endless sequels, leading to franchise fatigue. Worse, this model is financially inflexible. The modern industry survives on a robust tale of revenue from live service microtransactions, but you can't sell 100 different, say, hats of Kratos without diluting the core IP that makes him Kratos. The Suicide Squad flop is the perfect example of this. Warner Bros. Tried to force a dyadic mascot into a live service model, creating a psychological contradiction that players clearly rejected. So if the mascot model is a financial trap, what's the alternative? This brings us to the other side of the Avatar paradox coin, the one built not on a character, but on you as the player. This is the inverse model, the blank slate avatar. Its lineage can be traced back to tabletop games like Dungeons & Dragons. Its entire design philosophy is built on the pillars of character customization, player expression, and agency. It's a cooperative storytelling framework where the rules exist to service your choices, not the other way around. This was brought to the digital mainstream by games like The Sims, which took this concept and made it a global phenomenon.
This nigga out here catching fresh cod with his chocolate girlfriend. Hold up, I see you, girl. Bro. Hold up. Who is this? Hold up, she's talking about some Wakanda forever. I see you, girl.
The Sims is a digital dollhouse that turned creative freedom into a therapeutic tool for control and self-expression, where the act of customization is the core gameplay loop. This was followed a few years later by Nintendo's spin on the idea with the Miis, which create a simple, charming, and, most importantly, transferable avatars across the growing Nintendo ecosystem. Even in the hands of the players, things like GTA RP are able to thrive off this very idea, showing how this simple model can bring about a deep-seated community. The psychological engine here is known as the Proteus effect. This phenomenon enhances the monadic expression of players, where the player and avatar essentially become one. The avatar's appearance literally changes the player's behavior. Studies found that players given taller avatars subconsciously negotiate more aggressively, while those with more attractive avatars disclose personal information more frequently. You aren't just controlling the hero. Your brain literally starts performing the role your avatar suggests. This is why customization is so powerful. Past the surface level of a mere game feature, it's a safe environment for personal experimentation. This is the engine of the modern live service economy. Customization is the perfect monetization model. Why? Because the interaction between a person and their avatar seems bi-directional. The more players identify with their avatar, the more fun and perceived competence they report. This drives higher retention and makes them more likely to spend money, but this model doesn't come without its own flaws. The Proteus effect, while monetizable, creates a severe branding risk. If the hero is a blank slate, it has no fixed identity. You can't put a funny monster you made in Spore when you were 7 years old on a lunchbox and sell it to the masses. This makes launching a new AAA IP an extreme power law gamble, where 90% of games fail to be profitable. This is also without accounting for a potential distasteful or generic art style despite a game having these customization features. So AAA studios are seemingly trapped. The Mascot model is financially inflexible, and the custom hero model is brand invisible. How would you go about solving this paradox? This brings us to the twist, the hidden third option, the rise of the hybrid model. The first solution many game companies have taken is the customizable mascot. This is a defensive financial strategy. It takes a safe, beloved legacy IP and bolts on a modern customization system. It satisfies both psychological needs at once, the dyadic bond with the mascot, and the monadic desire for self-expression. Tekken is a perfect example of this. This hybrid approach isn't new for the series. Deep character customization was a popular feature introduced back in Tekken 5 and refined in subsequent titles. Today, Tekken 8 has its roster of iconic fighters, which provides the personal dyadic connection with players. Despite this, its deep customization system doesn't hinder the original vision of the developers. You can extensively customize each and every character, but the game still maintains the original, accurate depiction of the characters, which protects the core IP. As the system grew in subsequent titles, it allowed for the expansion of customization so much so that players are able to create awesome and visually appealing outfits, allowing Bandai Namco to profit from the player's desire for self-expression. Nintendo's own Mii fighters, introduced in Smash 4 on the Wii U, are the official, streamlined acknowledgement of this hybrid need. Mii fighters function as a self-insert, a core engagement loop for player expression that allows for everything from original creations to homages of other iconic figures. It's the game's official way of letting players enter the battle with some of Nintendo's greatest mascots. The upcoming Kirby Air Riders game for the Switch 2, the actual reason why I'm even making this video, looks to be the perfect example of this hybrid philosophy. You play as the beloved mascots, like Kirby, King Dedede, and of course, Rick. But the kicker is that they implemented two ways of player expression into the game: the My Machine customization and the Machine Market, where you can post your custom vehicles up for sale for other players to purchase. On top of that, they also incorporated headwear, where you can place a multitude of options onto your favorite characters, a way for self-expression without sacrificing the IP's original look. This is a modern, monetizable, systems-based platform, perfectly utilizing this hybrid approach. This model is quite brilliant for de-risking legacy IP, but a hybrid approach is not limited to just character customization systems. What if the hybrid isn't about customizing the mascot, but about customizing the player's relationship to the environment itself? Let's take a look at 2022's Game of the Year, Elden Ring. This model is an offensive financial strategy. It solves the psychological paradox by inverting the relationship. It starts with the monadic hero for players to be, but sets them in a world defined by dyadic relationships with in-game figures for players to get to know. The player character, the Tarnished, is an intentional nameless blank slate. The game's design is a metaphor for shaping oneself. The player provides the personality so they can never have to play as a character they dislike. This is the ultimate de-risked protagonist. So where's the mascot? The character that came to define Elden Ring, the de facto mascot for the game, Millennia. She's an iconic, defined mascot level character. But you don't play as her, you just fight her, optionally at that. And despite this, she alone single-handedly garnered an intense community relationship. The 2024 expansion, Shadow of the Erdtree, proves this formula even further. The player is still the blank slate Tarnished, but the central characters of the story is now Radahn and Nicola, defined and complex mascot-level characters. The player is reframed as a mere witness, following the footsteps of the real protagonist, the lore itself. This is the ultimate financial hedge, utilizing a slightly altered hybrid approach. As it would seem, these hybrid models are the new, safe formula for AAA success. So, in this new brutal climate, what does the future of the hero look like? The future of the hero is truly a split path. We will look to the indie scene for the birth of new icons, and we will look to AAA studios to build the epic, financially stable, expansive worlds that allow us to be a hero. Whether it's the emotion of a narrative, the power of a fantasy, the excitement of discovery, or the chill of fear, this is the core experience. Nonetheless, we will just have to patiently wait for the passionate developers to keep cooking up the vision they believe will impact gamers across the world.